Tomorrow we're going to find out, finally, after a long wait and then a debate on Saturday, who will oppose John Katko for this district's congressional seat. And while this election's pretty significant, the Onondaga County Board of Elections tells me that voting turnout in recent primaries has been less than impressive. So let's do some quick math here. If we pace off exactly how wide this road is, we're going to learn that it's about 25 feet wide. And this car that's parked back here, well, it's about 5 to 6 feet wide, which means there's about 20 feet for a snowplow to get through, and on a regular day, that's pretty good. But when there's cars parked next to each other on the opposite sides of the street, well, that's when problems could start. Now imagine a video game tournament being held here, or even in venues bigger. Advertisers and broadcast networks are picking up on that idea and putting money into it. So Easton sets up here in his Syracuse, New York apartment 3 times a week to record YouTube videos. He uses a professional camera and light setup so he can sustain that consistent YouTube subscription base. Avoiding the dangers of dehydration can be as simple as what you eat throughout the day. Avoiding these foods can give you that extra boost to make it through your day. Thanks, guys, and you can see behind me already, traffic is already starting to back up as we're on Teal Avenue going up to I-690 eastbound. Now, crews have been working all day long, starting constructions and repairs. And in response to President Trump canceling the Eagles' White House visit, Cleveland Cavaliers forward LeBron James spoke out regarding the choice of visiting. Should the Cavaliers win the championship, he said he wouldn't make the trip. He discussed why today. If you're a Lyft driver, some new benefits are likely coming your way. The ride-sharing company announced today new support centers for drivers. Back to baseball now. Major League Baseball mandated changes to its ballparks to increase fan safety. But as for the minor leagues, the decision was up to the ball clubs on an individual basis. The Syracuse Chiefs took that initiative and added a new safety feature to NBT Bank Stadium this season. The newest top prospect in Chiefsville is not on the field, it's surrounding it. You may or may not have noticed the new expanded safety netting installed at NBT Bank Stadium. Not by choice, some have. And thank goodness it was there.
We've been playing baseball for a little over 2 months, and I would say that it's already prevented 3 or 4 potential injury situations.
The new netting, when not focused on by a high-resolution camera, of course, retains just 5% visibility. It was an easy addition.
The stadium was actually set up, as you can see where those nettings are attached to, for the original net that was in NBT Bank Stadium at the first year. So if you see with us, we have no poles, no obstructed views, because the stadium was perfectly set up for the safety netting.
Now, don't get me wrong. As great of a change as it seems, even the diehards had to adjust.
Took a while to get used to it.
It covers 6 sections across the first and third base lines, shielding over 750 additional seats from foul balls.
Some of those balls that come back are dangerous.
So next time you take your family out to the ball game, you're covered.
It's just the 150% right thing to do, and it was probably one of the easiest things we've ever had to get done.
Now, fans have the next chance to see this feature on Monday when the Chiefs return home to face the Pawtucket Red Sox. While polling places for the New York State primary elections open tomorrow, the issues of voting extend beyond the candidates. Syracuse.com says only 9% of eligible registered voters got to the polls for the 2016 Democratic primary. People seem to be forgetting that election season extends beyond November.
Primaries are one of the least turnout elections that we have in our cycles. And one of the reasons is that it happens in odd times of the year. You know, September or June is not November. Many people don't even start thinking about the political process until after Labor Day.
But this election before Labor Day is just as, if not more important, than the general ones in November. Tuesday's primary will determine whether Juanita Perez-Williams or Dana Balter will oppose Republican John Katko for New York's 24th District congressional seat. Voters in New York State are already getting a head start. The Board of Elections tweeted today that over 1,000 absentee ballots have been returned as of Friday. The Board of Elections expects a fair turnout at the polls this time around.
We printed ballots for a 50% voter turnout. That would be amazing for a primary. And we also can print ballots on demand here. So if we notice throughout the day that there's a large amount of voter turnout, we will get ballots out to the polling places that need it without them having to wait.
Alternate side parking requires cars to park on certain sides of the street depending on the day. It's a law here in Syracuse, but apparently it's a confusing one. Syracuse.com reported in January that parking scofflaws owe the city $9 million, partly because of alternate side parking. For the city, Common Council member Joe Carney says the rule makes sense.
There are a lot of narrow streets and you're not able to get up and down streets. Emergency vehicles can't get down roads if we don't follow this type of practice.
City officials who attended a snow safety summit last week took suggestions from the community on how to improve sidewalk and road safety. Mayor Ben Walsh says the alternate side parking rule is emphasized during the winter.
We have significantly increased the amount of parking tickets we are issuing, especially during snow events, to make sure that it is safe, that plows can get through, especially our more narrow streets.
So let's do some quick math here. If we pace off exactly how wide this road is, we're going to learn that it's about 25 feet wide. And this car that's parked back here, well, it's about 5 to 6 feet wide, which means there's about 20 feet for a snowplow to get through, and on a regular day, that's pretty good. But when there's cars parked next to each other on the opposite sides of the street, well, that's when problems could start. Alternate side parking is also known as odd-even parking. Where you're allowed to park depends on the day of the month. That is the main point of confusion. When you see this sign, know what to do. It's time for Parking 101. Let's imagine a street like this, and the day is February 1st. If it is before 6 o'clock p.m., your car should be parked on the side of the street with even numbered houses. Once 6 p.m. rolls around, you have to move your car to the side of the street with odd numbered houses. It is now February 2nd. Your car is on the odd side of the street. You're good to go until 6 o'clock p.m. After 6 p.m. on that even numbered day, your car must be moved back to the even side of the street. And that is alternate side parking explained. And if you don't get it right away, you're probably not alone. This law is so tricky, there's an unofficial website for it, oddeven.org. It's real, it's accurate, and it's updated daily. NCC knows, and now you do too. And the polls are open tomorrow from noon to 9 p.m. Stay tuned to NCC News at 4:45, while I'll have more updates. Back to you in the studio. And that does it for your NCC Sports Report. I'm Corey Crisan. From Teal Avenue, I'm Corey Crisan, NCC News. Back to you in the studio.